One of the easiest ways to keep track of inventory and ensure that the systems are accurate is by counting your stock.
The term stock count often calls to mind an annual event where lots of people are involved, and every item in the primary warehouse and any other warehouses is counted and checked against the inventory computer system. This annual stock count is necessary to determine the value of inventory, but this should by no means be the only mechanism for determining the product quantities and therefore the total value of our inventory.
Having an accurate value for the inventory of a business is a critical component of good financial practices. The value of inventory is calculated by multiplying the quantity with the cost price, and this value is reflected in the balance sheet of the business.
Another reason for counting stock is to make sure that the quantities reflected on the WMS are accurate. The Warehouse Management System, or WMS, keeps a record of all movement, both going in and going out of the warehouse, for every inventory item.
If the physical quantity in the warehouse does not agree with what is reflected on the system, this can lead to all sorts of problems, such as sales may think they have goods to sell, but they actually don't. Procurement may order too much stock because the system reflects that there is none. Production may be delayed because the system may indicate that material is available when in actual fact it is not.
In essence, there are two methods for counting stock, one being the counting of every single item, known as perpetual inventory, and the other being cycle counting, where a few items of inventory are counted every day.
All inaccurate inventory records are as a result of one of the following scenarios. Transactions are not processed on the system at the time when the physical movement of the goods takes place, and sometimes not at all. Goods are placed in the incorrect location in the warehouse, making it difficult to locate the goods for picking and stock counting. Goods are damaged in the warehouse, and the WMS is not updated, nor are the damaged goods removed from the warehouse. Goods are stolen due to insufficient security control. Returned goods are not recorded accurately.
One of the downfalls of only using the perpetual inventory method for inventory evaluation is that it becomes very difficult to identify where historical problems occurred, which are responsible for the inaccurate inventory record. For this reason, cycle counting is a recommended practice for every warehouse, regardless of the size.
There are 3 different approaches to cycle counting. 1. Making use of control groups. 2. Random sampling. And 3. ABC analysis.
A control group is used when a company first introduces the process of cycle counting. The idea is to select a group of products that can be counted every day or week, depending on how quickly the inventory turns in the warehouse. By counting every day, you are able to identify what problems are occurring and the cause of inaccuracies. If the problems occur for the control group, then the same problems are most likely occurring in the rest of the warehouse.
Another way to action cycle counting is to count a random group of inventory items. Random selection means that different inventory items are counted each day. The quality of items selected may be the same with every count and draw from the same list of items. This is known as constant population and may result in the same items being selected for counting more than once. Another method of randomizing items is to use the diminished population approach, where inventory items are removed from the list once they are counted.
ABC analysis is a methodology used to categorize inventory items, not only for stock taking. Typically, the A items would be the items with the highest value, but often the lowest quantity. The C items would be the lower value items, which have much bigger volumes. Using the ABC analysis categorization allows inventory controllers to focus on the items that have the biggest impact on the business and ensure that these inventory item records are always accurate.
It is important to always bear in mind the primary purpose of counting inventory, and that is to have accurate inventory records.
When inventory is counted often, the bad habits which often creep into the warehouse can be identified and eliminated.
Incorrect process can result in inaccuracies, as can bypassing processes. The aim of the cycle counter is to root out these problems and implement correct practices.
Inventory controllers should aim for 100% accuracy of the inventory in the warehouse.
Making use of technology, such as barcode scanners, makes the job much easier and also cuts out the opportunity for errors in recording data.
So what does a good cycle counter look like? Typically, they are people who do not have other responsibilities in the warehouse, thereby giving them an unbiased view of the processes and activities in the warehouse. They are able to find problems which people who are too familiar with the warehouse operations may overlook.
The benefits of using the cycle counting approach include reduction in the disruptions of operations, reduction in errors, saves time and resources, improves customer service, increase in sales.